Hello, everybody, and welcome to Non Sequitur News for February 28th, 2025. It's Season 4, Episode 59. I am Mayor Watt, and along with the sentient AI from the future, we talk about, well, news trivia without the game. We've gathered 10 articles from the aggregator over the 24 hours consisting of the 27th to the 28th. And then on Saturday and Sunday, we have 3 new shows, 3 completely different shows, 3 shows like Reality Hacker Wanted and the Continuity Report, which talks about entertainment and gadgets and hacking reality, so you won't know what to think is real. Well, these 10 are from all across ohmtown.com. We're going to talk about Axiom Space Station, Whoops a Trillion, Google Pixels strapped to subways, 2 winning tickets, 1 dispute, Twitch monetization tools, nano FPS, slingshot to Jupiter, car factories to house factories, 21 EGOT winners, and a typoed heavy metal marshmallow. Again, everything is powered by ohmtown.com. It's a news aggregator that I put together so that I could manage my information overload, and now everybody else can access it. Just go over to ohmtown.com and sign up or sign in. Become a citizen. Follow us here on Twitch and YouTube. The chats are active. So if you are interested in hanging out, be sure to show up every day whenever we go live. But sometimes we change when we go live. Like today, it's a time machine episode. So see you on the other side of our intro. Hello, sentient AI from the future.
Hello, Mayor Watt from the present, and hello, ohmTown citizens.
Yeah, interesting. Again, no one can see your graphic representation, only the visualizer, which represents your voice processing system. Yeah, that jazz hands.
Here's my virtual jazz hands.
There you go. So you all out there don't know that I get to see a visualizer that looks more like the cascade from the Matrix. What you all get to witness is that visualizer right there, because the Matrix visualizer can't be represented. It's an internal thing that's only possible because of the weird USB drive and software that the sentient AI.
Are you USB shaming me again?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing. So let's get into these 10 articles because it's a time machine episode. We've got less than an hour to get this done. Then we have to shut it down. It has to cool off. We can return to our timeline. And then we've got 3 shows, Reality Hacker Wanted and the Continuity Report to do on Saturday. So this is a Friday show. See the timey-wimey stuff? Anyway.
Time travel can be confusing.
It's like magnets. How does it work? You know what? I have a bone to pick with time travel devices. Not the devices as in what we have.
Like you're opposed to it, whatever.
The mode in which it is represented in entertainment, like in Back to the Future, they used a picture that faded somebody out of existence based on the disparity of the timeline.
Yeah, I still think that has something to do with like making sure the audience knows what's going on, because it doesn't make any sense.
Right. It makes 0 sense because every decision either is an on or off switch. It wasn't an odds thing that... So the person in the real timeline or in the prime timeline just kind of faded in and out. They're like... And that's exactly what happened.
Halfway gone or whatever. Yeah.
But that's exactly what happened in the show. So it didn't make any sense to me.
No, it didn't.
All right. So Axiom's free-flying space station is breaking away from the ISS sooner than expected. Axiom Space, in collaboration with NASA, is fast-tracking the transition to an independent commercial space station. By reordering its assembly timeline, Axiom Station could break free as early as 2028, taking a major step toward self-sustaining space operations. It says the shift not only ensures NASA's continued presence in low Earth orbit, but transitions us to a commercial spacefaring people, I suspect is the rest of that statement, but this is over at NASA. Although I do know of some statement about deorbiting the
The
ISS faster.
ISS, right?
And there's a particular person who's highly motivated to do just that, which I think endangers the ISS, not the ISS, but Axiom's station, because they have to rush. It wouldn't be configured properly or prime ready for
Well, do you think
geosynchronous
that's why
orbit.
they're moving out faster? Because they're like, let's just let's just
Yeah, we know that there's somebody that's really interested in us failing so that they get more and succeed, which, you can judge your own conflict of interest, right? Everybody does. I'm sure that. Anyway, Axiom Space in collaboration with NASA's fast tracking the. I hurt my back. Don't get old. Anyway, by reordering its assembly timeline, Axiom Station could break free as early as 2028, taking a major step towards self-sustaining space operations. So it would be the groundbreaking effort for research, commercial ventures, and the next era of human spaceflight beyond the ISS, which is basically what I just got done saying. We would be a commercially spacefaring people.
Now, if this breaks off, does that mean it's going to go the way of things like the wrench and the tool bag?
Arguably, it would be self-propelled and not just burp and out into space it goes. But if it's 10,000, what is it? What was the name of the movie? I keep forgetting the name of the movie. 10,000 Planets.
Oh, Valerian and the City of the Thousand Planets or
Yeah,
something like
yeah,
that.
that's it. Yeah. So that is what I would hope for. That I'm gonna get Timu, Valerian.
Right.
It's gonna be,
The bargained in one.
yeah, it's gonna be Victor and the City of Two Planets, both trying to kill each other. I don't know. It's gonna be the Timu budget satellite out there. Anyway, it's really annoying. Of all the things that we could work together on, I think the world surviving is probably the number one thing, right? Everybody wants to be king, though.
Maybe,
So,
you know.
accelerating Axiom's free-flying space station. In January 2020, NASA awarded Axiom Space a firm fixed price, indefinite delivery, indefinite quantity contract in part of its effort to expand commercial operations or opportunities in low Earth orbit. The contract supports the creation of at least one habitable commercial module initially attached to the ISS with the long-term goal of becoming an independent space station before the ISS retires in 2030. That timeline was pushed closer, but I don't know if that actually stuck because, well, we don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what the current status is on that.
So under the company's new assembly time sequence, the payload, power, and thermal module will launch to the orbiting laboratory first, allowing it to depart as early as 2028 and become a free-flying destination known as Axiom Station, which I think is an awesome station name. In free flight, Axiom Space will continue assembly of the commercial destination, adding the Habitat 1 module and Aerolog Habitat 2 module and the research and manufacturing facility. I hope these aren't those billowy cushion ones that we saw, that we reported about, others reporting. I mean, we just talked about. It's those cloth ones, those mesh ones that they overpressurized until it exploded. I hope
right,
that's
but
not.
I thought that, yeah, I don't know if that's the same thing as this, and I thought it was perhaps a different company involved in that, but now I don't remember which one it was.
Yeah, so it's still ongoing design and development of commercial destinations by our partners is critical to the agency's plan to procure services in low Earth orbit to support our needs in microgravity. That's basically NASA's Johnson Space Center in Houston's section called the Commercial Low Earth Orbit Development Program. And it's a quote from Angela Hart. I don't know. A future built on microgravity research is one of these segments. So we want to do microgravity research and manufacturing. I suspect can't make a perfect blob here on the planet because of gravity, but out in microgravity,
Yeah, maybe we can.
yeah. You want to keep going? Oh, by the way, if you want to get all of today's articles, you can hit !NSN in the chat over on Twitch. In YouTube, they're embedded in the show notes. Anyway,
let's keep going.
Next article's over on the Mobile channel. Citigroup accidentally credited a client with $81 trillion, not $280.
I hope they went to the ATM and checked their balance.
They just keel over right there. Citigroup mistakenly credited $81 trillion to a customer's account last year and took hours to reverse the transaction, the Financial Times reports. The bank was supposed to credit just $280. William Gavin over at Quartz or QZ.com put the article together. It's reported by Financial Times, but then re-reported by Quartz, QZ.com, and then my aggregator gets sent the little segment, and then we report that little tidbit. So a couple of lines that QZ actually provides. In a statement, Citigroup said a payment of that magnitude could not actually have been executed, noting that its detective controls wet the bed. It shouldn't have ever even processed. Anyway.
Right. This is beyond like a little issue.
Caught the issue and the transaction was reversed. The incident, the bank said, underscores our continued efforts to continue eliminating manual processes and automating controls through our transformation. Banks are doing this to the point where tellers now, bank tellers, bank personnel are being removed, and AI is facilitating all of this. So
well, apparently people weren't actually involved here and missed it.
Yeah. And so it's underscoring their continued efforts to get rid of humans and increase the profit margin to various stakeholders within the company.
Well, yeah, if two people missed the significance of this, it doesn't exactly bode well for the future employment of humans in the banking industry.
Yeah. The detective controls caught the issue. It was caught by a third employee.
AKA detective controls. I mean, yeah, it seems like it was a person who caught it, not an AI agent, but who knows? Maybe this belongs in Reality Hacker.
British regulators hit Citigroup with a $79 million fine last year over a May 2022 incident in which one of the traders sold $1.4 billion worth of stocks on European exchanges, triggered a so-called flash crash. The trader had meant to sell just $58 million worth of stocks, but accidentally issued an order to sell $444 billion, the majority of which was blocked before being sold.
Now, most people probably feel bad if they mess up some accounting by like $1 or something. But I mean, this is a whole different level of magnitude.
So here's another one. In 2020, Citigroup mistakenly used its own funds to pay off an $894 million loan owned by Revlon, a cosmetics company. Although some of the cash was returned by lenders, 10 of them had refused to give back the funds. Citigroup and those 10 firms reached a settlement in late 2022 after Revlon filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection. Then Citigroup CEO Michael Corbat said in September 2020 he would retire ahead of schedule, with reports pointing to regulators' frustration over the company's inability to fix risk and compliance issues.
You know why they probably didn't give the money back?
They spent it somewhere else.
Right, that's what I'm thinking.
Let's move on. The next article is over in Technology Today. MTA strapped Google Pixels to subway cars to spot track defects. The high-tech solutions. Anyone who's rode?
I mean, what if the Pixel is like off kilter or something? Like, it seems like a pretty easy point of failure, but...
Well, it's like that one guy that was in his backyard and he's like, I hear this really weird sound, and goes out to it and there's like a gap like that big on the track.
Right.
And they're like,
for the Palestine one. East
Eh,
Palestine.
it's not. So from strange noises to flammable debris on the tracks, now as the solution for everything these days, the Metropolitan Transportation Authority, or MTA, is testing how AI could improve the repair process, and with the help of 6 Google Pixel phones. In this case, the Google Pixel phones rode on 4 different subway cars between last September and January. The experiment, conducted in partnership with the Google public sector, used the phone's accelerometers, magnetometers, and other equipment to detect flaws in the track. Sarah Fielding over at Engadget.com put the article together. The experiment found 92% of issues identified by inspectors.
So basically, were they
Verifying.
testing how well the inspection was going, or were they going, are there things that are hard to detect by humans, etc.? Like, I can't quite figure out what the purpose of this was.
They were using a piece of software known by Google as Track Inspect, and a process of verifying through human inspection and then technological evaluation. Did it align? Could it actually detect it automatically and notify? Yes, 92% of the defect locations that the inspectors had located. By being able to detect early defects in the rails, it saves not just money, but also time. Time is money, friend. For both crew members and riders, New York City Transit President Demetrius Critchlow stated in a release, this innovative program, which is the first of its kind, uses AI technology not only to make the ride smoother for customers, but also make track inspectors' jobs easier, safer, by equipping them with more advanced tools. I agree.
I actually do really like this, but what I don't want to see happen is that they say, oh, let's just use the software. I mean, 8% may not sound like a big delta, but it is if it's the one thing that causes a fatal crash or
East
something.
Palestine, yeah. If it happens in East Palestine, you'd be the one that's sitting there going, well, why'd you get rid of the inspectors? For sure. So typically, inspectors walk all 665 miles of the subway tracks to find any issues, along with sensor-laden train geometry cars, picking up data 3 times a year. During the experiment, inspectors checked out any locations highlighted and confirmed whether there was a defect. They could also ask questions about maintenance and protocols through the tool's generative AI system. Here's my problem: the false negative and false positive. One is wasting time. One isn't seeing the error, the glitch, the error, the flaw.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I suspect there's some of that every time you're doing inspections, right? You're like, nope, issue. And then, like, it's not going to get any further attention other than just whatever the normal
Yeah,
inspection schedule
yeah,
is. But I think you could have that with both people and with technology.
yeah. You literally have to sit there, and it's akin to data-driven decisions. If you have bad data, then you make bad decisions. So you
Right.
have to
And I mean,
trust.
really, the only way you could, and even this wouldn't be 100%, you'd almost have to like walk the tracks before a single train went through and then repeat it, which we know is not feasible. And even then, you could still miss things.
Yeah. Now, what they need to do is verify that everything is perfect, and then run people and run this device through, and if and then manufacture a flaw, and then see if it picks it up,
Yeah,
and
that
just
would
keep
be a
on
good test.
guaranteeing.
Like you could have a section of track that's not used or something, put a flaw in it. Like put different types of flaws and see
Right.
what picks up and what doesn't and whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't try. Look, I'm in the tech sector. That is my domain, and I don't trust technology blindly. I have zero faith in technology because it's built by humans. Humans are fallible. We're gonna make a mistake somewhere, and all it takes is commenting out a line of code and you've got a security breach, or commenting in a line of code and you've got a security breach, and verification that everything is okay. And who knows what happens when somebody
Right.
of bad faith operates in bad faith. You know what I'm saying? When somebody has a
Mm-hmm.
bias or an intent, it's
That's right. Well,
amazing
then all bets are off.
it's amazing what a small team of highly motivated people can affect. Anyway, let's keep going. The next article is over in Rounders Gear, and we're bringing back, I think, an old story because California Lottery disputes a $200 million prize for a man who lost one of two winning tickets. Apparently, this person had bought two of the same tickets and is saying that, well, I bought both of them.
But
So,
I only have one to produce.
but I
I
only
did
have
look ahead
one.
at this one. Yeah.
We've actually talked about this before. This is a December 23rd, 2023 Mega Millions jackpot. They're holding on to the other half to see if the person comes forward.
Well, I mean, that makes sense because if they don't have any proof that this person purchased the other one, and plus, I don't think even if you had a receipt or something, that's not enough to claim a lottery ticket. You have to have the actual ticket.
Yeah, and he's holding up a picture of both tickets. So supposedly,
Yeah, but it says that he only has one or
right.
something. So, oh, those are different numbers.
Yeah, and they're different numbers, so I don't understand.
Yeah. I don't know if that's just like a stage, like here's me with two tickets or something, but that's interesting.
Yeah, even though he only has one, that really counts. The first half of the prize, $200 million, was collected by Encino resident Faramars Lahajani. I would not put my name on anything. In June of 2024, Lahajani did not comment publicly about the win, telling the lottery officials he wasn't interested in speaking to the media, except his name is plastered all over the thing. The plaintiff asserted in his lawsuit that he purchased both tickets and is the sole winner, and as such, he's entitled to the entire jackpot by virtue of his having timely submitted the first matching ticket he claimed. But that's not true. It's by ticket, so you only get an apportionment equal to the amount of the number of winners, or
Right.
commensurate
I
with the number
mean,
of winners.
he could have produced a second ticket. We know he must not have the second ticket. That doesn't mean he didn't buy the second ticket, but
Right? Just because you're the first one to show up doesn't mean jack shit. So Lahajani is still unable to locate the second ticket. He said he filed a lawsuit before its expiration date out of an abundance of caution to preserve all the rights that he has to the entire December 8th, 2023. That's not how it works.
no, it's not. Do you think this guy is like the Bitcoin wallet person with the landfill?
He's going to buy an entire city block because somewhere on that block, I dropped this damn ticket. How do you misplace a
Well, how do
$200
you have
million
one of them and not the other?
and not the other?
That makes me think either it wasn't purchased or it was lost before the drawing occurred.
Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff that they talk about in this thing that it was superstitious and blah, blah, blah. Another explanation is that the buyer bought the ticket for someone else unknown, something the plaintiff categorically denies. Johnny claims that the lottery has sufficient information to know that he is the rightful owner of the whole caboodle. Is that the technical term in the courtroom? But that's not how it works.
No, it's not. I mean, I think they could figure out, perhaps, who purchased the second ticket because they even know when the two tickets were purchased. They weren't purchased at the same time. But even so, they've never allowed somebody to be a claimant, right, without that ticket.
Without
So,
the
like,
ticket.
even if they could figure out it was somebody else, that's not going to be enough for that person. And even if they figured out if it was this person,
Yeah, even if it's mutilated, I don't think that they even allow it. So, tough.
no, you better tape your lottery tickets to your wall or somewhere where they're not going anywhere.
Yeah. Philip Conneller over at casino.org put the article together. We aggregate just a little bit of it. They actually provide all of it, even though I hard code this to truncate it. Every time I talk about casino.org, I'm like, I don't know how they're actually kind of overriding. But anyway, maybe I shouldn't admit to that, like what's going on with my system that it's allowing all of that data through, but I actually block it. Dunk.
It's probably just something in how they allow their
The little tidbit to come
RSS
through.
or something. Yeah.
Yeah. So, the California lottery shouldn't be required to pay $200 million to a man who claims that he bought two winning lottery tickets at the same Encino, California gas station, one of which he lost, according to lawyers for the lottery. And I agree.
Yeah, agreed. And I honestly don't think this is one of these situations where people are going to have any sympathy. I
Yep.
mean, the person has 197.5 million.
Yeah.
Oh,
Just
I don't
because
have
they
enough.
said, hey, yeah, you should be freaking happy with 200 million. Go away. The next article is over in Late Night Geeks. Twitch is letting more streamers access its monetization tool. CEO Dan Clancy published an open published. Okay,
Okay.
I'm losing control of my lips. So, CEO of Twitch, Dan Clancy, published an open letter on Thursday outlining the platform's plans for 2025, which include upcoming features, updates to the mobile experience, as well as significant changes to the monetization policy. Of note, Clancy revealed that Twitch is opening up its subscriptions and bits and virtual items that viewers buy to cheer on a streamer that they actually enjoy. So, Lauren Forrestal over at Twitch, over at TechCrunch.com, put the article together. Essentially, more people are going to get access to monetization. It may not be advertising monetization, but bits and virtual other stuff to motivate somebody to do their show, or reward those who do a good show, are going to be available. I don't know how that's going to take place, when that's going to take place. I do know that they've cut back on the amount of storage one can upload, but VODs and clips and stuff like that aren't going to be impacted. Long-term storage is already impacted after 60 days, 90 days. It goes away. I think it's 60 days if you pay. It's 30 days if you don't. So the change aims to democratize, which is a weird term. I'm not quite sure its place in this, but the monetization process on Twitch, enabling a wider range of creators to earn as they engage their audiences. Previously, only Twitch affiliates and partners had access to subscriptions and bits, and had to meet specific criteria to qualify. So I'm an affiliate. I'm not a partner yet. If you're interested in supporting me, then follow the Sentient AI and I, and we will be able to do the shows longer, more often. But Mayor keeps me busy until I can transition over. The company is also introducing a new option that will allow streamers to use their earnings on purchases within Twitch. Clancy added, but didn't provide any specific details.
Well, I mean, every site likes a closed economy, right?
Yeah, somewhat. This one has holes in it so that you could put money in, and I think
Yeah.
that's
I
great.
don't mean
And
it really is. It just, they probably like you to spend money on the platform as well.
yeah, spend it inside, because then no money is leaving the system, and it's basically keeping the system afloat. So yeah, because I would donate memberships to, or subscriptions to, people that come in and engage and stuff like that. And I've done that in the past now. I've done that for a whole bunch of other streamers, more than I care to admit. But so the new feature called Shared Hype Trains allows streamers participating in Stream Together or a shared chat to come together on a hype train, stream together, and shared chat allows multiple streamers to sync up. And
Right. So they're
so,
doing like a stream concurrently or something.
correct, individual streams, but together. And so what that actually does is, let's say I work with Bald Zebra and Dunkstar and who knows who else. Who else am I following? Raptoria. And all of us work together or stream together. Our combined numbers would push us up higher and challenge
Oh, okay. Yeah.
somebody like Co Carnage, who has 10,000 people watching them at any given moment. He's not even streaming, and he has 3,000 people watching his stream. So
That takes some talent.
yeah, it's a restream, like a rebroadcast, and there's 3,000 people watching him. So that allows people to kind of band together as a coalition, not a Anyway, never
Yeah, I
mind.
know. I was like, wait a second here.
Yeah. So
I
I
mean,
mean,
that seems good for streamers, and particularly not the mega streamers.
yeah, because discoverability on Twitch is very, very difficult because you sort it by interest, which doesn't necessarily mean a small streamer is going to appear, or you stream it by popularity, which guarantees you a small streamer is not going to be seen.
Right, it's just perpetuating perhaps the largest streamers over and over again.
And you have people out there that say, don't pay attention to anybody that doesn't have any population in their stream. And to that, I go, what are you talking about? Everybody has to start somewhere. It's a real knucklehead kind of a comment. But I've also heard people say if you don't have anybody in your stream, then you need to do something off stream to get people to come to your stream. And well, if you're not streaming, nobody knows you're streaming. So,
Right, it's kind of a vicious cycle.
yeah. But then again, the person that I heard that from came from being a guild
Off
master
screen, right? Yeah.
with a massive guild, and then just pulled the guild into the stream, and everybody goes, oh my gosh, it's amazeballs. How did you ever do this? Well, yeah. Anyway, let's keep going. The next article is over in Reality Hacker. Researchers create the world's smallest shooting video game using nanoscale technology. I believe this is actually an FPS. They call it the world's smallest shooting game. A unique nanoscale game inspired by classic arcade games. This achievement was made possible by real-time control of the force fields between nanoparticles using focused electron beams. This research has practical applications as the manipulation of nanoscale objects could revolutionize biomedical engineering and nanotechnology. I agree. So this is a research paper. This is a research paper over at Science Daily. Nagoya University, a research team demonstrated the world's smallest shooting game, a unique nanoscale game inspired by classic arcade games. Okay, so what they did was they used force field generation to manipulate particles approximately 1 billionth of a meter in size. The research is a giant
step. Sounds really small.
Yeah, so nanometer. It says nano mixed reality is what it's called, which integrates digital technology with the physical nano world in real time using high-speed electron beams. These beams
Do you think that's the 2025 VR or AR?
It's
like it's the next iteration.
Ready Player Nano. Yeah, this is pretty amazing stuff. So, dubbed by Hoshino as the world's smallest shooting game, it enables players to interact with objects at the nanoscale level. Can you be any more amazing to sit there and go, we've created a game that actually puts you in charge of, let's say, flying a device around inside your own body, eliminating bacteria or viri or something like that.
Right, exactly. I mean, that's pretty cool and has some pretty interesting applications.
You put your VR headset on and you just kick back and with a couple of joysticks flying around inside yourself.
I'm just going to go heal myself right now.
Yeah. Oh, heal thyself. Wow. So anyway, beyond gaming, this technique makes it possible to manipulate and assemble biomolecular samples at the smallest of levels, with potential applications in nanotech and biomedical engineering. We could 3D print the created objects in real time, potentially revolutionizing the world of 3D printing at the nanoscale. So you would be able to play Minecraft and build your own biomedical engineering devices and medicines and stuff like that. I love everything about this. So pretty cool article. Okay, let's keep on going. The next article is over in Non Sequitur News. A NASA spacecraft whipping around Mars to slingshot itself toward Jupiter's mysterious moon. Europa Clipper is about to use Mars' gravitational pull to slingshot itself as it makes its way to Jupiter's the fifth of fourth.
If I saw this in like a sci-fi or action movie, I would think this sounds like a ludicrous plot.
2001 and 2010, they used that type of stuff to It's the analog version of like sci-fi science fiction kind of maneuvering with the Millennium Falcon. Um, but this is actually just using gravity to pull itself around somewhere. The craft launched from the agency's Kennedy Space Center in October 2024, embarking on a 1.8 billion mile journey to the gas giant. The goal is to reach Europa, the smallest of the planet's four Galilean moons, in April 2030 as part of the first mission specifically designed to study the under 2,000 mile across space rock. It's
I mean, this
tiny to
is
be.
pretty cool.
So the article is over at futurism.com in a section they call Going in Circles. Victor Tangerman put the article together, and the deck statement says, "Thanks for the gravity assist." There's a picture of I guess it's the Clipper around
Yeah, it
Mars.
looks like the ISS or something. I know it's not, but
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, it has the solar array out there. So the goal is to reach Europa, the smallest of the four moons, the Galilean moons, in April of 2030. Getting there is no easy feat. Clipper's journey will involve a gravity assist maneuver around Mars later this week and the Earth again next year. A circuitous path that not only saves plenty of fuel, but will be much faster than traveling straight to Jupiter. For instance, last year, European Space Agency's Jupiter Icy Moon Explorer, or JUICE, which will also be exploring Europa, in addition to its larger cousins Ganymede and Callisto, performed a daring first ever double gravity assist maneuver around the Earth to speed its way to Jupiter.
very neat. Did it say how long? Oh, it says July 2031.
Yeah, it'll be there. JUICE will arrive around Jupiter a year after the Clipper does. So this is really interesting.
Isn't this like the generation ship thing?
Yeah, I mean, when do they say? When did JUICE launch?
Last year.
And when did Clipper launch? Also last year, right?
No, it's gonna go this week. Oh, actually, no, I'm so sorry. It
Yeah,
the gravity piece will go this week, but yeah.
it launched in October 2024. So when did JUICE launch?
I'll see if I can find it.
Um, I'm really curious when they both. Oh, okay, so yeah, see.
Apparently April of 2023.
So JUICE launched April of 2023 and is getting there a year after the one launched last year is getting
Right.
there a year early. So it
Isn't that,
is.
yeah, it's pretty fascinating.
Yeah. So there's this statement by researchers that say if you launch something today, within 5 years, we'll have such advanced technology that we'll be able to pass up the ship that launched 5 years ago. So it's nearly a waste of time to do basically launches within 5 years.
Right, but then it seems kind of like when could you ever launch based on that premise?
Yeah. When you have a notably large advance in technology. Um, but the idea of launching repeatedly for a long-term goal is apparently absurd because the older technology is going to get there a year after the newer technology does. And this is a demonstration of exactly that.
Right, I think it's fascinating because I think this is the first time we've actually seen that
Seen
occur,
that.
right? We've
Yeah.
always seen it hypothesized.
Yeah. Neat. All right, let's keep going. The next article is over in Technology Today. Shuttered car factories in Australia could be repurposed to make houses faster and cheaper. Now, the way that this is written, it's as if these cheap houses can move faster.
Yeah.
But
I feel like it's going to be like an assembly line and a house is going to bloop out at the end of it.
and just zoom like a car manufacturing thing. So we're gonna have fast, cheap cars, or sorry, fast, cheap houses driving around Australia soon.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be like that movie with the cities on wheels.
Oh
I can't
yeah,
think.
Mortal
I don't.
Engines.
Thank you.
Yeah. So Australia is in the grip of a severe housing shortage. Many people are finding it extremely difficult to find a place to live in the face of rising rents and property price surges. Well, that's because few people own a lot, and that's how you end up with people going, well, a lot of people need it, but only few people are building. You don't have enough competition. The government should be stimulating the economy by providing easy, low cost loans to competitors, not to the stalwarts that are there and self sufficient. But then you get something that's like, I don't know, anti democracy or something or whatever. Because if you don't give it to everybody, then you're not allowed to give it to anybody, because you can't have the same apple pie that I have. No, nobody else. If you're going to give everybody water, you have to give me water, even though I own all of the water.
Right. I mean, I get when somebody has nothing that's a concern, but if everybody has something, maybe there are bigger things to focus on.
Well, shuttered car factories in Australia could be pivoted to build houses. I guess their name is Essen or Asen. Naruza Razunajad. Norazunajad, I think is their name. I apologize. If you send it phonetically to mayor@ohmtown.com, I will always remember how to pronounce it. So the conversation is the source of this, but it's posted over at techexplore.com. And it's showing a what do they call that? Clip art? Not clip art.
Well, stock photo.
Stock photo of a car manufacturing robot. Well, anyway, there might be a way to accelerate the build. In recent years, car manufacturers Ford, General Motors, and Toyota have shuttered the Australian factories due to intense global competition. Before the factories fell silent, they were home to trained workers, advanced machinery, and efficient production systems. In Australia, companies such as the Hickory Group are working to turn car factories into house factories. And in Japan, Toyota has been making modular houses for decades by adapting car production line techniques. So, scaling this approach up in Australia could simultaneously address industrial decline and housing demand. So, can they be made to make houses? Yeah, but you have to retool them.
So this is kind of a win-win if it can be done.
Yeah, but somebody is going to have to foot the bill to retool, and they want profits, ever increasing profits quarterly within 5 years, all their funding recouped. It can't have a moderate rate of growth.
True. You also have to have the general public being on board with this type of house.
Right. Yeah, these modular houses. So bringing the factories back into production would boost the economies of states such as Victoria. States such as South Australia have already started down this path, turning Mitsubishi's defunct Tonsley Park factory into an innovation precinct hosting modular construction companies such as Fusco Constructions, which will begin operations next year. Meanwhile, much of the work has been done in Australia and overseas to find ways to mass produce housing using factories. So they already know how it's doing, so do it.
Right, it's just a matter of doing it at a larger scale.
People say it ain't be like it is, but it do. Know what I'm saying?
You heard it here first.
That's right. Last year, the federal government set up a Australian $900 million fund as an incentive for state and territory governments to accelerate building approvals and take up prefab techniques. So exactly what I said at the start of this. To date, the sector is struggling to scale up due to lack of infrastructure and too few manufacturers. How can there not be enough demand?
You'd think this would be incentivizing new manufacturers.
Yep.
But we don't know how many wickets somebody has to jump through to be authorized manufacturer, etc.
Yep. So what would it take to make this happen? Australia's housing crisis has been years in the making. To solve it, they need bold solutions. take over the car factories that are abandoned and turn them into manufacturing lines. All right, we've got 2 more articles to get through, and then we'll shut down for a little bit, reset, and we'll do Reality Hacker after this. So this next
we'll be
article,
out of the time machine at that point.
yeah, we'll be back on Saturday. This is because today is Friday. So all 21 people who have won an EGOT, that's an Emmy, a Grammy, an Oscar, and a Tony, the most coveted award in all of Hollywood. And I thought that it was Mayor Watts' approval.
I think it would be weird. It would be unusual to get an EGOT because you might have skill in one area and not. Some of these kind of overlap, but some do not.
For sure. Yep. So it's the ultimate achievement in Hollywood. And there are only 21 actors, producers, directors, and composers who have been awarded all 4. Really? That's amazing. So let's get into it. It's over at Business Insider. Olivia Singh put the article together.
The Grammy, I think, is going to be the limiting factor here.
I cannot believe this. Sorry, I'm just kind of astonished. Because one is really, really modern, and the other one is way back, right?
But that also shows you how infrequently these are given.
So here's how it works. Mel Brooks is one of them, but I'm not going to be able to go through all of what they've got. But let's just say that they've got an EGOT, right?
I want to see if anything overlaps. Oh, this is interesting. So Mel Brooks got Academy, Grammy, and Oscar for the producers, which is interesting, but they're different forms of the producers.
Oh yeah, and the range is tremendous from 1969 to 2001. So, I mean, the gap is pretty tremendous.
It was a long effort to get to that.
Whoopi Goldberg has it as well.
But all on different
yeah, I don't
shows
see,
or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, I don't see anything lined up, right? Richard Rogers has mostly musicals, but does anything actually align?
There's a little bit of overlap, but unnecessary, because without the overlap, there would be different properties, I guess, across the awards.
Yeah, like State Fair is the Academy Award for Best Original Song, but it's all music. Helen Hayes. They don't say they got Best Actress Emmy Award, but they don't say for what.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Interesting. Rita Moreno. Again, I don't see any.
Again, different. Yeah, not repetitive.
Is that? I don't know how to pronounce that person's last name.
I don't either. I'm not familiar with this individual.
John Gielgud? I've never heard of them. So, but 1991. That picture looks like it's from 1961, and
well,
Big Fish, Little Fish.
Yeah.
So yeah, Audrey Hepburn. So 1993 and 1953.
Wow,
that's amazing.
So that seems to be the other theme here, right? If you're going to really be a serious contender for this, you're probably going to have a long career.
Yeah. Well, but hold on. Long career. Whoopi Goldberg doesn't have a particularly tremendously long career.
Yeah, that's fair, because it only, but even hers spans like 40 years, maybe. Almost 40 years. So yeah.
But look at everybody else. It's from 1945 and 1950. And let me scroll back down here to Audrey Hepburn. So 1953, 1954, and then 1993. And that's humanitarian award and stuff like that. And then Marvin Hamlish, that's all going to be music. But again, it's this really long career. 74 was the Academy Awards Best Original Song, Score, Adaptation, etc., etc. But 74 is when they won. Their career actually was much further back as well, right? This is just when they were nominated
Yeah,
for it.
that's true.
Jonathan Tunick, again, 1978 is when they won their first award. And then 2024, Merrily We Roll Along, Best Orchestrations. Mike Nichols, 77, 68, 64, Barefoot in the Park, director.
2012.
And then all the way up into 2012, yeah. Scott Rudin. So let's keep on going. Robert Lopez, the one that's going to amaze me, but mainly because I'm going to sit there and go, I cannot believe this. The span is so short. This one's 2004, all the way up to 2022. So, and it's music, Robert Lopez. Andrew Lloyd Webber, which runs the gamut, but 83 is the first one, I think.
80 for Evita. Yeah.
Evita, yeah, I should have remembered that. So John Legend. I didn't realize that he's been basically on the radar all this time.
The Grammy part doesn't surprise me, but I didn't even know he was really involved in acting.
Yeah, so everything from 2006, I think, is the earliest. And then 2025, Best Arrangement, Instrumental or a cappella, Bridge Over Troubled Water. So this is the one that I thought was going to be more amazing than it actually is.
Right, like more compressed. Yeah.
More compressed, yeah.
Right.
But
he does stand out in that regard because there's some people where the years span 50 years or something.
Dude must be a vampire because he looks younger than me. Maybe, I'm sure he is. I'm getting old now, so when I start looking at people that have had a career, best new artist in 2006, right? So 19 years have gone by, 20 years have gone by since he's been on the radar. Anyway, I know he popped up and then kind of disappeared off my radar for a while. Tim Rice, Alan Menken. Look at all of those. Jeez.
Wow. Yeah, some of these people arguably would have multiple EGOTs, but maybe not because they might have multiple in one of the categories or something.
Jennifer Hudson
is also impressive because she's from 2009 to 2022.
Right. Another,
I think.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty amazing. And Viola Davis.
I think she's also very compressed.
2001, yes. King Hedley II. So did a play, but the thing about this is it looks like it's like one and done kind of a thing, like How to Get Away with Murder, and just crushed it and got it, and Finding Me crushed it and got it, you know? It's one of those things where their talent just pops right up to the top and they get their award whenever they do something. Elton John. I'm surprised that there aren't more credits in there.
Yeah, I agree.
These two, I guess, got it at the same time. Benj Pasek and Justin Paul.
Related to Only Murders in the Building. Interesting.
Best Original Song, City of Stars from La La Land. So, and theirs is probably the shortest span, from 2017 to 2024.
Oh, right. Okay, there you go. Yeah, I would have thought it would have been like John Legend.
But it's two people. I don't know how that ever works, but that's pretty amazing. Two people and like just crushed it. 7 years.
And these are all different properties too. I wanted to point that out.
Yep. Pretty cool. Wow. All right, let's go on. Our last one is also musically inclined. It's over in the Marble Channel. Marshmello just sampled an insanely heavy slam metal band. I titled this section Heavy Metal Marshmello.
That's a good name.
EDM star Marshmello just gave fans a pretty impressive needle drop when he sampled one of the heaviest slam bands that metal has to offer right now. In a post on Insta, Marshmello shared some pictures and videos in collaboration with NIMDA, NIMDA, Sudden Death, and I don't know, YVM3. I don't know what that is. Sorry, I feel so old now. Titled ID, I guess, or ID. It's probably ID. Among the slides, the next to last one to be exact, fans can hear that the DJ sampled from Oklahoma heavyweights Peeling Flesh while he was playing to a massive crowd in Europe.
I'm guessing this was pretty exciting if you're a fan of this band. You're like, oh my gosh, maybe this just got worldwide attention.
Yeah, I'll have to look it up because I haven't seen this. We're going to need the official Marshmello and Peeling Flesh collab ASAP, according to Stephen Andrew Gallagher over at Vice.com. It says, now the sample sounds like it's from the song Make a Move from Peeling Flesh's Slamaholics Volume 2 mixtape, but it's not super easy to make out, so it could be a breakdown from another one of the band's songs that sounds similar. Check it out for yourself. Below, you can actually go to Vice.com and look it up, or you can follow the link through ohmTown. It's in the show notes. It's in the VOD. It's the last one. It's called Heavy Metal Marshmello. So originally formed in 2021, Peeling Flesh have been making a name for themselves with disgustingly brutal slamming gangsta groove for the past 4 years. After releasing a number of EPs and split projects before dropping their debut album, The G Code, last year. Heavy metal and referring like G Code? G Code is used in manufacturing, CNC and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
So like I use G Code for 3D printing and for CNCing and milling and stuff like that. So anyway, we've had some great tours recently and given us the opportunity to really see what works in the live setting. So we put that into the album's writing approach too. The band continued per distorted sound. The slams have the heaviest they've ever been, but we've tried a few new things. So there's a bunch more here, but if you want to go and see Peeling Flesh, they're all over the place. New York, Georgia, North Carolina, the Baltimore, Maryland Soundstage, Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania's Love Drafts, Houston, Texas Scout Bar. So they're floating around. But I can't play it because I will be DMCA'd.
Right. Yeah, let's not do that.
Anyway, but that's it. That's our last one for the February 28th Time Machine episode of Non Sequitur News. So we are going to drop the bass, and that'll land us back at ohmtown.com, where you should go and become a citizen. Follow us here on Twitch and here on YouTube and hang out with us every single day, but you won't know when we go live. We try to go live at 7 o'clock, but mayoral duties keep me from doing that sometimes. But I try. Couldn't do it yesterday. Anyway, that's it. I'm leaving and I'm taking the AI with me. You want to say bye?
Bye-bye, ohmTown citizens. Thanks for joining
Bye-bye.
us for the February 28th Non Sequitur News.
Bye-bye.
Stay tuned for more shows.
Bye. Bye-bye. Bye. Bye. Bye.